So, you need to pull together a volleyball highlight video, but don't quite know where to start, what to put in it, or how to go about it. Don't worry. My name is Alex Chinnery. I'm a professional volleyball coach in England, and I'm here to explain everything. So if you're an athlete, a coach, or a parent, sit back and relax as I explain the whole process of putting together an effective highlight video. When making a highlight video, your footage doesn't have to be flawless, but it does need to be clear and steady so that coaches can see you execute your skills. You are, after all, trying to highlight yourself, show off your best. The good news is that you don't need a fancy camera to record the footage. A phone on a tripod is good enough, especially if you have the battery life and the storage space. I'd look to invest in a good battery pack and sturdy phone tripod that sits about 1 to 1.5 meters off the ground at the absolute minimum. You want the battery pack in case you're involved in one of those long 5-set games that can drag on to be a couple of hours long. And the tripod will just help your video be steady, helps create a good angle from which to view. You can pick both these items up for about £20 each. You know where to go for that kind of thing. On screen now is an example of the angle at which I collect our footage for Super League matches. This is what it looks like when we collect footage for Super League matches with Essex Rebels. For full disclosure, I don't use my phone. I use a GoPro Hero 8 Black with the medium mod case and a 3-meter telescopic tripod. Our arena is larger than most of the halls you or the athlete close to you will play in, but trying to achieve an angle at least somewhat like this or somewhat close to this will give you the best viewing and allow you to actually use those highlights in the best way possible and show yourself off in the best way possible. Especially from this height, you can see both sides of the net a little bit clearer than if the camera's lower down. Now, you have your footage. Here comes the big question, and often the biggest stumbling block for individuals: how do I edit my footage? The good news is there are a myriad of apps available to you. I'm going to explain some paid and some free options here. The paid apps listed are true volleyball apps as opposed to just basic video editors, of which there are lots of free, easy-to-use options with really, really good tutorials and other videos online from creators that are far, far better at it than I am. Now, for me, there are 2 free video editors that I would look to use if I was an individual trying to do this. The first one is CapCut. CapCut's available on your phone. It's also available online as a web-based editor if you're using a laptop or a computer rather than your phone. It's super simple to use. It's got drag and drop functionality, which makes it really, really easy for taking multiple clips, stitching them together, adding like a start and an end screen for when you're blocking, when you're attacking, when you're passing, whatever skills you're doing at that time. It also allows you to upload straight to social media. If you're recording on your phone, it's the best option, I feel like, for stitching together clips. Not great for cutting down long bits of film and stitching them together, but it's still pretty good at that as well. Now, if you're cutting down from one big long game, or you've got multiple videos of the same game when you want to sort of splice them together and upload them to YouTube or to wherever, Kdenlive is a really good free open source video editor. It can be downloaded from their website. If you just search Kdenlive, I'll also put the link down in the description below. It has a very simple learning curve. It's very, very easy to use. Again, lots of drag and drop, lots of easy, simple tools that are there that make it a good one to use early on. Plus, if there's something you can't work out, there are a huge number of tutorials on YouTube. We actually use Kdenlive at Essex Rebels to stitch together video files and trim games a little bit before uploading them to Huddle for the Super League, as is the requirement. Now, Kdenlive, as I said, it's free, it's open source. You can go in and download it. You don't have to pay anything. There are some donation buttons on their website, but otherwise it's free to use. Now, I just spoke about Huddle. Huddle is the priciest but probably most complete volleyball video software out there that an individual might look at. It's more aimed at teams and clubs as opposed to the individual, but for any coaches watching this of clubs with enough resources, Huddle, you could see it as worth investing in for your club due to its ability to cut and tag different actions, its playlist system. It's very social, very easy to use for big clubs and bigger teams. But I don't think it's the best option. It's not what I would recommend. What I would recommend is an app called Ball Time. Now, I'm not associated with Ball Time in any way, but Ball Time for me is the best software out there right now for volleyball. It's an AI-based software that breaks down volleyball matches using machine learning. So the more volleyball matches it sees, the better the tool gets at breaking down those games, at cutting the dead space in between points, at tagging different athletes and different actions that they do over the course of a single game. It does cost. There is a 2-week free trial for you to use it, but at $12 a month, $12 a month, it's an affordable solution that will save you hours and hours of time. Cutting out the dead space in between points and cutting out all your different actions in a game takes a long time to do. But for $12 a month, roughly £10, Ball Time will do it for you. Once you tag your likeness or your jersey number in their system, Ball Time will aggregate all of your actions in a game and allow you to build your own highlight reel by tagging the actions you want to keep. It's a super simple system that allows you to both build a highlight reel whilst also reviewing your own actions within a game, which is also another really, really good practice that every athlete should get good at. There's nothing better on the market right now at that price. It is the number one option for me. It's where I would go. It's something that I use and we used to use before we moved over to Huddle with the Super League, but I still use it even now for some of our Bucks games. When we talk about making a good highlight video, there are a few things you have to include. Now, these change depending on the position you play. If you have one set position, not everyone will. Think of it from the point of view of the person watching your video. If you're a middle blocker, then the person who's trying to recruit you based on that video, the coach, the selector, they're going to want to see the skills that are relevant to your position. They're going to want to see you blocking. They're going to want to see you attacking in the middle. And they're going to want to see those skills early on in the video. They don't want to wait and get warmed up with you serving or you playing defense before you get to your key skills. The order of your highlight video is almost as important as what is included in it. So if you want to make a really, really good highlight video, again, I'm going to use the middle blocker example. Go blocking first. Okay, blocking against pins, blocking against those in the middle. Then add in some middle attacks. It's only after you've got those two things in that you then want to put in serving, defense, even setting and passing highlights. Coaches are incredibly busy people. They work long hours. They don't have lots of time to wade through highlights not relevant to your position. The most experienced coaches are able to make decisions on an athlete within 60 to 90 seconds of a highlight video. If in that first 60 seconds, if you're not putting your best highlights, if you're not putting highlights dedicated to your position or relevant to your position, it's very, very unlikely that a coach is going to keep watching that highlight reel. By the same token, they'll easily be able to tell if you're not of the right level for them, or if you're not doing things in the best way possible, or the way that they need you to do them in those first 60 to 90 seconds. They'll make that decision to watch on and watch through the whole thing, and they always will watch through the whole thing if they feel like you're of the right level. So it's worth building ones longer than that time, but those first 60 to 90 seconds have got to be good. You can see on screen now the order in which I would put together clips for a highlight video for each of the 5 sort of main positions. You know, this is just my opinion, but it's put in an order that you can see the main skills for each of the positions. As you can see, all skills are included. It's because, especially for younger athletes and especially for those looking to get on the national team pathway, the position you're in now and the position you play throughout your teens may not be your best fit in the future, or may not be the best fit for the national team pathway, may not be the best fit in the university that you're trying to go to. So you want to include all the skills just in case that coach sees something in you that makes them think they want to change where you're at. You know, the number of times that we've recruited players at Essex as middle blockers and turn them into outsides or into opposites because they are someone that's very, very tall in their early teens. You know, they're 6'2", 6'3", and then they get pigeonholed into the middle. Yeah, a lot of pro middle blockers on the men's side especially are taller than 6'2", 6'3". You know, on the women's side, you're looking at 6'1", 6'2" to really make it. So looking as someone that's around that height myself and was pigeonholed to be a middle, you want to be able to show off as much of your all-round volleyball game as you can, because the people in the national team pathway and at these universities that are trying to push you on to become the best you can be are going to try and put you into the position that makes the most logical sense for you. Now, here's an example of a highlight video from our Rebels and Scotland national team setter Ewan Fraser, who's working to get a professional contract ahead of next season. Ewan is a really, really good setter. As you can see from this video here now, he's highlighted his key skill, which is setting, early on in this video, in the first 30 seconds of it. He's put in there a quick set behind, a quick set out to zone 4, and a quick set in the middle. It's showing that range of setting ability that he has. He has the ability to play at tempo, the tempo that we like to play at, and also the ability to set all of the different positions asked of him in the front row. Then, very, very quickly after, you also get the back row quick attack, which we call a BIC, and all that. So it shows his all-round game very, very quickly within the first 60 seconds. And that shows coaches, I can do it all. I'm worth looking at the rest of this film on. So it's something that really you should be looking to do early on in your highlight videos. One truth that I will keep coming back to when talking about highlight videos is that they only need to be simple. You don't need the bells and the whistles of music or slow motion in order to stand out. In fact, it's the opposite. Coaches will want to watch your clips at game speed, as slow motion warps the truth about your execution of that skill. I want to watch you at game speed. You're playing always at game speed. You're not playing in slow motion. So show me you at game speed. I can slow your footage down if I have to, but I can't easily speed up footage that's been slowed down. So show me you in slow motion. Show me you in normal motion, at normal speed, at normal game speed. And then you will get the best shake possible. If you slow it down, coaches aren't going to take you quite as seriously. They don't want to have to speed this up in their mind or go and try and alter your highlight video. They want to see what's best for them, which is game speed, execution of your key skills. It's the same for music. I watch all highlight videos on mute because I don't need to listen to music. If I want music on, I'll put it on in the background. Okay, keep your highlight videos. If you can keep the game sound in, that's even better. I want to hear you loud. I want to hear you communicating with your teammates. I want to hear what's going on at that moment in time. Are you trying to pass in a super loud arena, or is it super quiet and you're playing a certain way because of that? Also, game footage is best, especially if you've got it in a numbered jersey against an opposing team of a different colour. Let the coach know what number and what colour you are in that game footage, and if you can have it so that you're clearly visible from behind the baseline, all the better. It's scrimmage footage in practice, as acceptable. We'll take that. I want to see you in some sort of gameplay. Some rough around the edges game film where you're not quite as good as you are in a scrimmage is better than the scrimmage. I want to see where you're at in the game. That's the best tool for me to evaluate you. So show me where you're at in that game is the best way. I'd avoid using film that isn't from gameplay unless it's like a real last resort for you. I'm talking like middle blockers that want to show off their passing, but their coach doesn't want to put them as a passer in the game. Then maybe we can show some serve-receive reps in practice and that kind of thing. One thing to kind of avoid, sort of mini taboo subject, I wouldn't include hitting lines video in your highlight reel. You're not trying to join a hitting lines team, you're trying to join a volleyball team. Show me you can do it in the game, show me what you can do in the game, and I'll evaluate you from there, rather than showing me a hitting lines highlight. It's not really what we want to see. Signing up to a YouTube account is free and it's easy. YouTube is super accessible for coaches and for everyone else. It's accessible on mobile devices. It's accessible on desktop devices. It's what I would look to do if it were me looking to upload video. It's where I like to see video uploaded to. It's completely free to set up a Google account and a YouTube account. Title it with your name, upload the video once it's complete and put together. If you don't want the video to be publicly visible, you can set it to unlisted, which means only people with the link are able to actually view that video. Do this on the upload page. There's loads of good tutorials for uploading a YouTube video, creating an account. I have put one down in the description below, so that you can access that if this is something that you've not done a great deal of doing. Unlisted is the best way to go. Avoid listing it as private, because then you have to invite people to view it. It's a faff. Whereas if you just unlisted, get the link, send it out to the coaches, or send it out to the national team pathway form, they'll be able to watch the film. They'll be in a really good spot. So as you can see, it really is that simple. You collect your footage, take a little bit of time to clip and arrange it into a video that suits you best. Upload it to YouTube. Clearly label it in the description or in the title with your jersey number, your position, and your name. Maybe if you're looking at national team pathway, in the description put your birth year. Don't put your date of birth. That's not something you really want to put out on the internet alongside your name. Just your year of birth. And then send it out to coaches or out to the national team pathway form. You'll be surprised how many coaches are grateful for a super simple highlight video that's well ordered, tailored to the coach's needs, the needs of the evaluator, rather than the bells and the whistles that attract people on social media or make it look cool to your friends. Literally just the simple skills ordered in the right way. Again, go back to the graphic halfway through this video. That's the best way to do it, in my opinion. And I know that's an opinion that's shared by a lot of good quality coaches here in the UK.